You're listening to Potato Pasta, the best stories from the internet narrated by a human. The following prompt was written by Crimson05-5. Walking into a flower shop and slamming down money on the counter. How do I passive-aggressively say "fuck you" in flower? The following response was written by GrunkleStanwhich. How do I passive-aggressively say "fuck you" in flower? The man opposite of the counter spoke, his words fast, painful memories still fresh in his mind. He followed up his words with a $50 bill slammed on the counter. The florist, an older, mustached man, didn't even look up from his paper catalog on the counter. Didn't even flinch at the request. Only slid the 50 his way and continued to flip in now shared silence.
You want a subtle fuck you? The kind only you'd understand the weight of, or a real fuck you? The kind someone's mom would feel?
His words came out almost lazy. A simple response for a simple request. I want them to get it. Somewhere in between the two?
You could give them lilies if they have a cat. Cat eats it, gets real sick, maybe dies.
The florist shrugged.
Seems like an innocent mistake on your part. Hell, they might even blame themselves.
Well, her cat is my cat too, so I'd rather not kill Carl. The florist made a noise, somewhere between a grunt and a question.
Didn't tell me this thing was domestic. Alright, well those roses over there are pretty shitty. Looks good at first, but give them a day or two and they'll be deader in your relationship if you go with the lilies.
The customer thought on it for a moment, staring over the counter with the bucket of lightly withered roses.
Or if you want something less thought-provoking and more direct,
the florist cut in, pressing something under the counter. Between the two shelves of floral arrangements on the far wall, a new, much older shelf appeared, sliding between the two like a chaperone between kids at a middle school dance. Across the top, a handwritten label read, "For the apple in your life. XOXO." On the shelves were rows featuring much less pretty-looking things. Spiky-leaved, blackened things. Oozing, bloody things. Heinous plants with devious shapes and sizes. The florist looked up from his catalog and raised an inviting eyebrow. Well, I want to keep the relationship, just want to really stick it to her, you know? Maybe something less murdery. The florist's face dropped and he repressed the button, returning the shelf back with a series of sad mumbles.
Well, you know,
the florist continued,
I am a relationship counselor too.
He flipped his tag, which now read Larry Bland, florist, marriage counselor, notary, ellipsis.
First session's free,
he offered. Let's go with the roses. 1 dozen, red, and a session of counseling on Wednesday?
Good choice. Want a bag with that?
Can you rip out the bottom so they fall out on her?
Wouldn't be much of a florist if I didn't,
Larry said as he tore a long rip at the bottom. The following response is by OKUs9062. Walking into a flower shop and slamming down money on the counter. How do I passive-aggressively say "fuck you" in flower? The florist, an old woman with hands like gnarled roots, raised an eyebrow, her eyes glittering with mischief.
Ah, you must be looking for the bouquet of spite,
she whispered, beckoning the customer to follow her. The shop was a jungle of strange blossoms, some of which seemed to sing softly, while others shed petals like tears. The customer, a young man with a heart tattooed on his sleeve and a fire in his eyes, followed the florist through the maze of flowers, marveling at the bizarre beauty around him. At last, they reached a hidden corner where a single exquisite bouquet sat on a pedestal, its flowers an impossible combination of colors and shapes. It seemed to vibrate with a quiet rage, its petals almost hissing as they brushed against each other. The florist handed the bouquet to the young man, who felt a shiver of power course through him as he held the flowers.
In this bouquet, you'll find the subtle venom of the sarcastic lily, the cold disdain of the frostbitten rose, and the cruel bite of the snapping orchid,
the florist explained, her voice in a low, conspiratorial murmur.
Present this to the one who has angered you, and they will feel the sting of your unspoken fury.
The young man hesitated, considering the florist's words. In his heart, he felt a connection to the man named Humphrey from the tale he had heard in his childhood, the one who had brought peace to a world of chaos by solving the riddle of the translucent albatross. Inspired by the story, he made a decision.
No!
He said firmly, handing the bouquet back to the florist.
I've changed my mind! I want a bouquet that speaks of forgiveness and understanding. One that can mend bridges and bring harmony where there is discord.
The florist's eyes widened in surprise, but then she smiled. A warm, genuine smile that lit up her ancient face.
Very well, young man. Follow me, and I shall show you the flowers of reconciliation.
As they walked back through the shop, the flowers seemed to change, their colors softening and their scents growing sweeter. The florist led the young man to a display of delicate blossoms, each one a symbol of peace and unity. Together, they assembled a bouquet of hope and healing, a floral arrangement that whispered of second chances and shared dreams. With the bouquet in hand, the young man left the shop, his heart light and his steps sure. The sun danced overhead and the moon hid the shadows of the radiators, but the world seemed brighter, filled with the promise of a kinder, gentler future. And in the house of upside-down mushroom clouds, the snail's dreams whispered the story of the young man who, like Humphrey before him, had chosen the path of peace and understanding, and who carried with him the power to transform anger into love. The following response was written by Unexpected Dreams. Sir, this is a Home Depot. We only sell potted plants and seeds. I frown, look down at the counter, frown some more, and return my gaze to his face.
My offer still stands.
He slaps the fat stack of bills on the table.
Fucker.
Hey, that was uncalled for, I say. Do you want my help or not? He sighs.
Sorry, rough day. So, how do I passive-aggressively say fuck you in flower? Not that I was saying fuck you to you. I just need to say fuck you to enunciate that fuck you is the message I need to convey to the person who is not you.
My lips purse into a thin line. If your goal is to confuse me as to whether or not I should be offended, you've succeeded.
Well?
I'm just a cashier, but I guess something with lots of thorns. A rose?
Thanks.
The man walks away and I return to staring at the wall. It's 7 p.m. Just one more hour of watching paint dry.
Hey.
I look up. It's that man again. His scruffy, unkempt hair sways energetically as he pounds the large pot of roses onto the counter. It shatters. You're gonna have to pay for that. I scratch my head. Sir?
Damn right I will.
He sprays $1 bills at me like a printer playing 52 pickup. The leaf green slips settle in an unorganized mess across the several pounds of dirt covering the counter and floor.
Have a good day, Mr. Not a Fucker.
The man throws the last of the bills into the air and leaves the building without even bothering to take the flour he just bought. I turn to Emma, who's standing next to me holding her sides and shaking silently, suppressing what I assume to be a laugh. I frown some more. This has got to be the oddest shift I've ever been on. So what the hell was that about? I say when she finally composes herself.
That guy's been trying to get my number all week. I told him you were my boyfriend 5 minutes ago.
She smiles. I kind of expected something to happen, but not this. That's not nice of you.
I figured you could handle yourself if anything happened, Mr. Star Judo athlete.
She punches me lightly on the side. Despite her small frame and my built stature, her bony knuckles drive a painful impression into my muscular fiber. You know, I haven't been in a competition since college. I'm way out of practice.
I wouldn't mind some practice with you,
she says with a soft smile, then looks away for some reason. Nah, our frames are too far apart. You'd be in a different weight class, wouldn't really be good practice, I shrug. She punches me again.
Stupid.
Yes, I sigh.
So, do you want to try that new sushi bar down the street with me after work?
She kicks her feet lightly while sitting on the counter. Nah, I'm on a calorie-controlled diet. I already have my dinner prepared at home. She pouts, punches me again, and stomps away. Did I do something to make her mad? Oh well, she'll get over it. It didn't seem like she was really mad. Back to watching paint dry. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. If you enjoy my narrations, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to know when new videos come out, hit the bell and make sure you select all notifications. I know it's annoying to ask, but it really does help the channel reach more people. Thank you.